Thank you, Charmi, for reading out word by word. It's not required. Thank you, Vijay Bhai. As Vijay sir mentioned, my job is to make the session boring since I'm going to cover the theoretical aspects of audit, while Puneet Bhai is going to make it more exciting. I would start sharing the presentation that we have prepared. Just a sec. So the idea behind getting me involved was Puneet Bhai's, where he wanted to ensure that the students are also made aware of the basics of audit, which will help them understand how Tally can aid and ensure the audit is conducted in a proper manner. So what I will do is we go through the agenda. What we will start with is basics of what is an audit, how can audit be conducted on Tally. Puneet Bhai will help us in the basic data management in Tally. A small brief of how audit in Tally without the Tally audit tool still can be conducted. Then we'll have audit with Tally, how planning and documentation is an important aspect of audit, basics of it, and then how one can do that same in Tally as well. Certain steps of verifying the opening balances, and then we'll go to the Q&A. This will be the basis of agenda today, and we'll cover more of the how audit will be conducted through the tool following tomorrow. So just reading what I've mentioned over here, what is an audit? The purpose of audit is to provide an objective, independent examination of financial statements, which increases the value and credibility of the financial statements produced by management, thus increase user confidence in the financial statements. The important point here is the user confidence. The financial statements that are going to be presented by the management are generally viewed by a lot of stakeholders, be it the government, be it the shareholders, be it the readers. So it is very important to authenticate the data that is being provided by the management, and that is the primary role which we as auditors are generally being entrusted with. These are the four basic pillars of audit: data accuracy, internal control, statutory compliance, and the financial statement presentation. Data accuracy in itself says a lot of things in terms of the accurate data that is required to be presented on whatever presentations are being made by the financial management. I would just here want to mention here is that when we talk about data accuracy, we not only mention about the numbers, but there are a lot of other information that come along with the data that is presented, the numbers, be it the notes to the accounts, information particularly pertaining to the security of loans, information pertaining to the legal cases that are there, information pertaining to the compliance, whether the compliance has been made properly or not. So these are some of the finer aspects that come along with the data, the numbers that we present, and these are again similarly important and crucial when we are viewing the financial statements as a whole. Internal control, again, a very important aspect is internal control. We mention about internal controls a lot of times during our audit report that we present, be it the main audit report, be it the CARO that we present to. Also, there is a different whole report on inherent financial controls that we have to present for certain class of companies. So that itself stresses and the significance of internal control that is there. A lot of times when we are conducting audit, as an article, when I used to go and audit, my principal always used to tell me to check whether all the vouchers are signed properly or not, and whether the invoices that are there which you are verifying are signed or not. And these are some points, finer points, which generally we tend to ignore or find it very insignificant. Even the auditee, or we can refer them as clients, are also the ones who tend to ignore these aspects and try and find these queries very insignificant. But these are very important points, as in when we start auditing larger organizations, we realize how internal controls play a very important role in determining the accuracy of the data, and also ensuring that the frauds are not happening, the segregation of duties that we mentioned about in internal control. These are all very very important points which we need to cover while and check while we are doing our audit. Statutory compliance, we all are aware. Again, we need to check whether the TDS has been deducted, GST are being properly calculated, paid. Not only GST and TDS, which are two very primary compliances that we verify. But there are also other lot of laws which come into picture. Like, for example, if you're auditing a restaurant, whether they have the proper licensing, whether if they are serving liquor, whether the liquor license is present or not. So these are again certain other aspects of compliance which we also need to ensure whether the client is specifically adhering to them or not. A lot of times what happens is that the clients themselves are ignorant about certain laws. It is not that they don't want to comply about it, but since so many laws are present, it becomes difficult to keep a track of the changes that come on a timely basis. So then it becomes more or less our duty to ensure that the accounts that are being prepared and the compliance that is required are happening on a timely manner and all the rules are adhered to. Last but not the least, the financial statement presentation that we see, generally the annual reports that we view. Again, here the idea is basically to ensure whether the accounting standards which are generally acceptable to the country, like I mentioned India here, since we are sitting here in India, but depending on which financial statements we are reviewing, we have to ensure that they are in conformity with those accounting standards. The reason why accounting standards are formed is to ensure that there is a uniformity across across the financial statements that we review. Otherwise, if there are no standards specific reports, every client will start preparing the reports in their own manner, which can result in not proper comparison between the different reports that we have. So that is the primary reason why we have accounting standards. On a lighter vein, auditor, someone who does precision guesswork based on unreliable data provided by those of questionable knowledge. See also magician and wizard. This is how generally the jokes are on auditors, and this is how an auditor is usually perceived. If you look at how the person is coming and the reception is like the auditor is here. Whenever we as auditors visit client places, we are always perceived as one who is here to only try to find errors or mistakes, but this is a perception which we collective have to change, and I believe we can do so over a period of time. So I think that is all about what is audit. Over to you, Puneet Bhai, about how Tally can help us to audit.
Okay, thank you, Ankit Bhai, and thank you, Vijay Bhai, and firstly, Chamber of Tax Consultant for giving me an opportunity to interact with students, to interact with fellow members on how Tally ERP9 can be useful for our audit. Friends, as can be seen on the screen, in SME or MSME segments, the biggest chunk of the software computerization has happened in last 15-20 years. The biggest chunk of the market has been taken by Tally ERP9. So with this, what happens is that the preference of auditors is Tally, the preference of businesses is Tally. And as I go and as I see a lot of schools and colleges at most of the places, some schools, but a lot of colleges have started using Tally tool or training on Tally tool for their commerce graduate stream of line. So,
Puneet Bhai, just to hold a second, there are a lot of queries coming with regards to the voice. I just want to check with Vijay Bhai and Charmi if the voice is clear, because I can hear you clearly.
Okay. The voice is clear, but it is a bit low. So if he can be a bit louder.
Okay.
Puneet Bhai, please.
Now is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
What I was talking is that although the software is used widely, the entire ecosystem is getting built up. The colleges are giving training on Tally. The MSME segments in GST era, when the GST was implemented, none other software had implemented GST so beautifully than Tally. So it has now become a way of life for many companies. And in that regard, it is very important that we as a user understand that what Tally can do. Of course, the accountants or the corporates or the companies in which you will be auditing, they must have done their job. But we as an auditor need to understand what is it that they have done. Okay, so with this practical inputs on how Tally can be useful, and a lot of knowledge of what the Ankit is doing across his practice area as well, that we are going to understand in today's session and tomorrow's session also. So friends, yes, this will be on a data which will be a demo data, but the inputs or the workings that we are going to show is going to be of immense helpful. We are not only going to understand that, okay, how Tally audit tool can be done. Now, that is one thing, but we are also going to understand that in case we do not have an audit tool, or rather before we approach a user, SME company, what are the important criteria that we want to see. So with this, we will be starting on our entire functioning. So that is what the how Tally or ERP audit can be of great help. Okay, let's move forward, Ankit bhai. Okay, so the first is,
I will just add here, Puneet bhai. In one of our clients' cases, a big client who is primarily into an export domain, at one point in time, say about 3 or 4 years back, we were contemplating of going on SAP, which is again very, very widely used software in higher range of clients, MNCs in particular. What we did realize is that Tally does provide a lot of solutions, which we as individuals, as chartered accountants, as businessmen are not utilizing it to the fullest extent. I can just tell you with surety, having implemented Tally there successfully, I might say, over a period of last 4 to 5 years, it's a manufacturing organization. And what we are doing there is right from sales orders entry to purchase orders to the manufacturing entry. So even it's a chemical manufacturing organization where there are a lot of inputs while there is one output. So passing, actually collating all that stock, creating one final product, everything right now currently we are managing in Tally very smoothly. So this is how far you can use Tally. Nevertheless, to say, the compliance management is always been excellent at Tally, where we are using it again very effectively. So this is how genuinely, if we actually look at trying to implement even the standard Tally that is presented to us, we can really do wonders. Apart from that, we've also added a lot of add-on features where since the manufacturing organization are using CC limits, so there are a lot of monthly and quarterly compliances that we need to do with the banking. And we've customized the solutions wherein the reports that are required to be submitted to the bank can be directly generated from Tally itself with a click of a button. That's how far the implementation can go. So just to add on what Puneet Bhai was mentioning about how Tally ERP9 can help us, I think we can go to the next point.
Very true, Ankit bhai. Just to add, there are a lot of service companies also who are using Tally quite efficiently and effectively in terms of their MIS management. You have rightly said about the manufacturing companies. Of course, trading company has been the base of the software, base users of the software. So let's move forward. So friends, we will take up this particular aspect of backup, restore, shortcut keys, and path. I'll now pick up my screen. Yep. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wonderful. So friends, when we start Tally, the first screen is this, where we see company info, select, create company, backup or restore. Okay. First, we should try and see how backup is being done and what are the criteria for that. So if you see, again, this Windows screen is also visible. Ankit bhai, please, if you can, or only Tally screen is visible.
Only Tally is visible, right?
One second.
So you'll have to share the entire screen, Puneet bhai.
Yeah. Now is it fine?
Yes, Puneet bhai.
Yeah. So if you see that a tally data would be of a 5-digit data. Okay. Here is the path where we whatever this tally data is being stored. Okay. So there are two ways in which you can copy the data. One is of course Control C and Control V. That is one thing. And the second thing is you can restore it from tally itself, or there is a TBK file which gets generated. So you go to tally and then you go to your either the first you if you take the backup. So here you can just write the path, the destination, and then select the company which you wish to take the backup. And the same process we follow for the restore of the company. Although very small, but many users forget this particular step of how to take the backup and restore. So we'll start with this. Before this, what happens is that when we start tally, suppose this is the tally screen that we want to start. Okay, here what we can do is that go in properties and click here shortcut keys. Now it is none. Here we can just say Control Alt T or Control Alt I or Control Alt M, whatever you wish to say. It is since it is tally, I have just provided, and it is a useful shortcut key for any application, not just tally. But just to give a brief, that once you do this, apply. Okay, and then you need not, wherever your screen is, suppose your screen is in the this particular Word document. Here also, if you click on Control Alt T, tally would get start. So this is the first shortcut that I am discussing. Now let's move forward in terms of understanding what the current data is. So if you look at the various version, the earlier version had this 4-digit, that is before 7.2 we had this 4-digit number. So if you have data of 6.3 or 7.2, you will have to migrate that to 9 in case you want to audit of that particular data. Or the other important, that there are migration tool which is available on Tally website that you can download and then run that migration tool. It is pretty simple. There are help files also available, video files also available, how to use that in case you have an older version of data. Any data which was beyond 7.2 will have at least 5 digits of this number. I'll tell you brief about this is that these are the various files, and if you see that the data is in this link manager, manager, and trans manager. The entire transaction files are in this file, and mainly the link manager, that is the bill wise details, the tracking numbers. We will see as and when we go along, but just to give you a brief, that these are the 6 or 7 files that is generated, and there are sometimes TSF, that is a small temporary files also getting generated when we are working in a network environment. Those are temporary files but can be deleted, but only under the supervision. But just to understand that these are your data files. You can copy the data via pen drive, or you can zip it and send it on the mail. So that is possible, and you can put it in any of the path, Windows path, wherever you have given the sharing in case you are using it in network. So you'll have to give the folder sharing rights in case you want to use it in the network. Okay, so that is the first aspect of the entire Tally data, restoring it and using it in different versions. The other important part is to understand that what release are we working in. The release is this. In the current version, the release is this 6.62. Okay, this is your Tally serial number, your TSS expiry date, and having a client with ODBC. That is fine. We will maybe tomorrow, if there is a time, we will look at the ODBC functionality as well, of how we can extract the master and the balance information to prepare financial statements. So here, always look at the version which we are operating in. That is, having said that, as we started Tally, okay, by clicking on Control Alt T, or rather by pressing Control Alt T, we can also ensure that the data which we want to load should be of a which data we always want to load. So I have clicked on F12, I pressed F12, and then here we find that there is a data configuration setup. There are other setup also, but currently from audit perspective, what we should understand that this is the by default data path. Okay, here you can also give companies load on startup, yes or no, or which company we have to preload. So many times users should understand that where your data files are. So here always you don't need not change the data path again and again. You can just go here and put the data path every time if you want to access the same path. Or if the path are different, then you can definitely normally when we start Tally, you can click on F1 backspace and then click on the particular or then type the path. So this is how you can access your data as of now. So the current Tally version that we are going to use is this Poonam release 6.6.2, and Poonam India is a demo company. We will load that demo company, giving the user ID and the password. Okay, and now this is how you have started with the Tally. Before we move forward, I would like to take the next step, that the data is here, but how do we move forward? So Ankit bhai, what are the criteria of moving forward? Now, shall we just go in trial and start the audit, or what is it that you normally do in your own practice, that how do you approach the planning part or the documentation part? Because that is very important when we are talking from a student's perspective or from the employee's perspective, that what are the other aspects of an audit, which once we start moving into Tally, we will have to take care. But before we take care, what are the prerequisites of planning? Ankit bhai?
Absolutely, I will take that first, Puneet bhai. Thank you. If you can
Hmm.
just stop sharing the screen, I'll just start sharing my screen. So before we begin an audit, the first step to begin an audit is always the audit planning and the documentation that we need to do. What are the steps that we need to undertake? So auditors are required. So why do we need to plan is one of the basic questions that we need to answer to before we understand how to plan. The reason why we need to plan is because there are a lot of audit risks that are there for auditing, and we need to ensure that all those risks are mitigated or defeated while we are making the plan. So there are three primary risks that I would like to introduce to the audience. One is the inherent risk, one is the control risk, and one is the detection risk. If you read through the inherent and the control risk, only the first part, you will realize that there is a thin line of difference between the two. I would just like to mention, the basic difference between an inherent risk and a control risk is, in case of an inherent risk, we are talking about the pure business risk, where the internal controls are not present. While when we are talking about the control risk, we are talking about risks which are where there is a not of inadequate internal controls are present. For example, if you have to put in what is an inherent risk is a risk. For example, if you're talking about consolidation, so during the phase of consolidation, there are a lot of data that is required to be coming in from subsidiaries, and the data that we collate are required to be combined and added to the data of the parent company. Now, if there are no proper checks and balances, no proper systems present in terms of how the combining of the data has to happen, that may lead to a material misstatement, which accounts for an inherent risk. as far as audit risk is concerned. So again, another inherent risk we can talk about is transactions which are related to the related party transactions. These are again byproducts of inherent risk. When we talk about control risk is primarily those risks where as I mentioned, the internal controls are inadequate. For example, no proper segregation of duties, non-verification of transactions, which we discussed again initially, where the vouchers are not signed, approvals are made without proper authorization. There is no proper mechanism of authorization. For example, uh, if there are two different managers, one of the managers allows air travel as a part of reimbursement, while one manager does not allow it. So it leads to imbalance between how the system is placed at an organization. Again, the supplier selection process is another important area, which, if not properly maintained, can lead to higher purchase pricing risks. Calling for quotations from different vendors before actually procuring the material is again another part of control risk that is there. Last but not the least is the detection risk. Detection risk is related to directly the auditors fail to detect the material misstatements in the financial statements, which may lead to incorrect opinion on the financial statements. This can be correlated to the skill sets of the auditors. This can be correlated to the types of audit procedures that we decide to follow, whether they are substantive enough. The sampling techniques again is one aspect which will determine whether all the kinds of transactions are covered or not. Length of an audit engagement. Generally, whenever you are auditing for banks, the bank branch audit, one of the biggest constraints that we face is the time allocated. Very short time is allocated to us to ensure we have a complete control over the audit engagement. So yeah, the length of audit engagement is also one of the criteria which may lead to detection risk. So these are some of the risks that we carry in audit, and hence we need to ensure that we plan properly. What are the certain pre-audit activities that we need to do? The first and the foremost is, before going to an audit, we need to ensure that the proper understanding is there of the client business, the source of funds, what are the major activities that it conducts. We should study the previous year's balance sheet. It will give us a fair idea in terms of what are the volume of transactions are there. Identify the key areas of audit that we need to ensure are covered while we are making a plan for the audit. Team understanding is very important. Clear defining the roles of who is going to cover what. And last, on a lighter note, we should know the address where we are going to go for audit. So yeah, so these are some of the pre-audit activities. Again, these are few pointers that I'm presenting over here, not exhaustive. It varies again from client to client. What are the documentation that is required? One, we need to define whose details of the audit team. There should be proper timesheet that should be present. The audit period that we are covering should be properly mentioned. The extent of audit procedures we are following, the evidence that are obtained, the procedures that are used to testing those. What are the sampling techniques that we are deciding on? How are the techniques being determined? How are we choosing which sampling techniques? These are some of the part of an audit working paper, which is also how it is called. And again, findings of the significant matter to the financial statements, their ethics as well as their process that we've done. So these are some of the important aspects of audit plan and documentation that is required. How this can be done in Tally is something I would request Puneet Bhai to take up.
Yes, Ankit Bhai. So, thank you for making the understanding of what are the important aspects for documentation. Now, moving towards what is possible within the functionality of Tally, let's understand. But there are two questions related to our previous discussion. One was, can we open Tally 7 data in Tally ERP 9? As I said earlier, it would be possible only after the migration of data. Okay, migration tool needs to be run, which is available on Tally's website, and then we can open it in Tally ERP 9. That was one. The second was, can I open somebody else's data. I have a license now which is having the serial number of this, that is 701 and whatever, and the other Ankit is having some other Tally serial number. Can I open his data? The answer is yes, if you have the username and password. So it is very important that we should secure our username and password. Now there are possibilities that the data might get copied as it is possible on pen drive and get it open. So you can restrict it by not allowing to get open in an educational mode. That I will take it up when we are discussing the overall structure of Tally at a bit later. But that is possible. You can just restrict that my data should not open in an educational mode. But you cannot restrict that this only this license number my data should get open. Okay, so that is that was the thing. Now coming to our Tally screen, now how do we activate the audit and compliance menu, because we need to activate the planning. Before that, what we need to do is to go in this Alt F3.
Puneet bhai, there are certain raise of hands.
Yeah.
Do we want to take those questions, or should we keep it at the end of the session?
We can take it up if the raise of hands are on the related to topic. I think we should take it up, because that would show that would help them to connect with the screens that we are operating. And if it is something which we are already scheduled for later, we may take it a little bit later.
So let us ask them to speak the queries. If they are related to whatever we've discussed now, we'll take it up.
Okay, right.
Rohit.
Yeah, please.
Rohit Shinde, you can unmute yourself and ask the query. Rohit, are you there? Poonam, if you can unmute yourself and speak, ask the query. I think they've.
Ankit, if you could just
Let us start. We'll
put the queries on the chat box Q&A.
Yeah.
And from there, if they are relevant to the screens that we are discussing, you may ask for them, or when you are explaining, I will ask for them.
You can start, Puneet.
So to activate the audit and compliance menu, what is required is this: we go in the company menu and ensure that use security control is enabled as yes. Okay, so once we activate this particular security functionality, we need to give administrator's name and the password. Currently, just because we are going to use repeatedly this particular company, I have given a very simple username and password. And then we can also use this Tally audit features. This will keep track of the editing of vouchers. On this, we can come again later, how to use this Tally audit features, what are the important aspects of it. So this we can come on again later. But the other aspect that I was talking about, the data movement, that you can disallow opening in educational mode. If you set this as yes, then the other person, even if they take the data and try to activate it in or try to open it in educational mode, they may not be able to open it. Okay. Right. So once I have activated my security control, I can go in this menu called audit and compliance. There are quite a beautiful things which are available in this. As you rightly said, that documentation form and one of the most important aspect of an audit. And in absence of this, the auditor may face a lot of risk, and in the days and time where the government authorities are or rather it is for our own good purpose that we should have a proper documentation, even if the government authorities are not saying. But when in a time where documentation is an important aspect, how do we ensure that we go ahead. So we can go to the audit documentation, and there we find that there are 4 or 5 different aspects. Okay, that audit program, auditor's report, annexure, accounting standards, all of them are there. But what I really love about it is this audit program. Once we go in this audit program, we can find that do we need to put the client auditor's details, okay, just to type the basic aspect of uh, uh, the audit, okay. So here you can create your users and all those things, set alter client auditor details. I will explain about the area of audit and everything. So we can say client auditor's details. Here you can just put the audit team name, okay, firm name, that is your company name, and audit team name. So on and so forth. Here the company name, address, phone number, and other status. The company type, whether it is limited company or whether it is a private limited company, you can select. Okay, here it is an LLP, so you can select partnership firm, or you can say not applicable. Industry type, for what it is related. So number of branch details and address, if any, if you wish to put it. Now here comes our planning part or the documentation part as to what we are going to audit. Now there are few pointers, list of audit areas which Tally has given, but they are not exhaustive. Okay, here you can select that, okay, I have to do bank book vouching, how many days I am going to spend on that, or for some areas you can select the hours. So bank book vouching should take 5 days. Okay, and when you have completed, you can come here and say actual. Okay, what is actual? So here again, extent of verification. So you can put sampling by months, verified by, in case after the completion you can come here and see who has just updated, who has verified it. Verification remarks reviewed by the senior person's name and the review remarks. Okay, similarly, so on and so forth. You can select another transaction, loans and guarantees. Right. The beauty of Tally is that in case you have created a plan for one company, you can copy the program in another company. If you go and see that there is a button called Control O at the bottom. Once you prepare the plan, maybe for 15 or 20 line items or 100 line items, whatever you wish to say, you wish to do, that you can provide it and then copy the same plan from one company to another company or from 1 year to another year, second year. So if you have completed the audit plan or the auditing last year, you can copy the same plan in the next year. So here there is an option, and once we click on this option, it will ask for which company you want to copy or from previous financial year you want to copy. Currently we have not loaded any company. It is asking for a company copy from this Poonam India only. But if there is a company which we have loaded at the initial level, at the gateway of Tally level, at that point of time, we will be able, from here we can then copy to another company as well. Okay, so moving forward, now the audit program is set. The other part of the idea is the working paper. So that we will come on that. For that, we have to activate in F11, enable audit working papers. This is an option because the moment you start doing an audit, within the system without using your paper and pen, that time you will have to put the notes. That time you will have to ask the question to your auditee. So how would you do that? That we will learn today as we move along. But here in F11, I have clicked on F11. Here you have to activate audit working papers as well. And do we want to also give some priority to the remarks that we have done? So then you can also give yes as this, enable audit priorities and categories. Okay. So with this, we can complete. Now here, if you see, the audit working papers have been activated because of F11, masters, vouchers, companies, and other reports. As of now, I am not going to discuss. At later on, once we move along, at that point we can discuss further on this. Audit documentation. Yes. Ankit bhai, would you like to add something on this?
Puneet bhai, I would just like to add on. So this is a Tally audit tool that we are discussing here, and there are certain aspects one can also look at while not enabling this tool. So I would just want to briefly, for about 5-7 minutes, cover those things before we actually start using the audit compliance tool.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So you, I'll stop sharing.
I will take it up. You can see my screen?
Yeah.
So yeah, tools without the audit tool. I mean, though most of us are already using most of these tools, I would just like to, again, highlight certain things that we can do in Tally without actually going through the audit tool. The basic function that we all, I believe, always use is the ledger scrutiny function. What we do typically is we have the shortcuts DAL. And though I believe I don't remember the names actually what it stands for, but I clearly remember the keys that we need to use for that. So once we do DAL, basically what happens is, the screen appears where all the ledgers are all the names of the ledgers are in front of you in terms of a list, arranged in a ascending order, alphabetical order, I would say. So that is one which we can always use. Another aspect that we use Tally for is TDS compliance management. I'm again not talking about the TDS feature that is present in Tally, but typically what I ask my staff or employees is we go through the complete profit and loss account. We try to differentiate between the expense ledgers where we feel the TDS would be applicable. And once we select those typical ledgers where the TDS is applicable, say for example, repairs and maintenance is one ledger, which attracts either 194J or 194C typically. Obviously, debtors confirmation and creditors confirmation, I believe Puneet bhai will be showing us how, Tally can be used in directly generating multiple ledgers and sending it across as a third-party verification. Apart from taking third-party verification in debtors and creditors, we also typically do is check the ledgers individually and select the option bill-wise. What it does is that it helps us to understand whether all the invoices that are raised during the period or all the invoices that are purchased during a period, depending on whether it's a debtor or a creditor, are paid in a certain manner or not. Logically, an invoice in May would be paid first than an invoice in December. So if we see certain invoices of November or December paid, but an invoice of May pending, it raises a small flag as to we would like to check, whether there is an error, whether the entries are missing, or whether there has been some dispute, whether there is a return where a credit note or debit note entry is pending. So these are typical things what we realize when we start looking at bill-wise details. Another thing that we can realize is a lot of times when the accounts executives are passing entries, if there is an invoice of say 50,100 rupees and we've received 50,000 rupees, I'm sure that 100 rupees is not going to be received. So typically we try to park it in a rebate and discount ledger, which most of the times you've seen the accountants tend to ignore, which, these are the kind of queries which we once raise can be sorted out very easily. That is the bank reconciliation feature, is a very prominent feature we all use. Another important feature is a financial ratio analysis. I am not sure how many of us actually view the financial ratios feature that is available on Tally by default. Always what we look at is, whenever we are looking at the current year's data, we always try to compare it with the previous year. When we are comparing it with the previous year, we try to check whether the gross profit ratios are in place, whether the net profit ratios are in place, what are the ratios of individual expenses vis-a-vis sales that has been conducted. These are some of the ratios which throws a lot of light in terms of whether the business has been conducted in a similar environment, whether certain flags are there, whether, if we look at more repairs and maintenance than typically what the company is going through, we come to know whether there are certain expenses which are supposed to be capitalized but are passed in repairs and maintenance. Then these are some of the important aspects, advantages that we can derive if we use the financial ratio analysis. Again, these are some of the tools that just came across my mind when I was trying to list it down. There are many things that we can do even without using the Tally audit tool. But yes, we can do a lot of things with Tally. Just a small point before I hand it over again to Puneet bhai is that any software the more we use, the more hands-on we become on it. So it is very important we start using software, start using the options that are available on the screen whenever we are using Tally. And then and only then we'll become hands-on, and probably we'll realize there are so many features, so many tools that are available within Tally without going through the audit option, I'm saying, which can raise a lot of flags, a lot of important aspects of the accounts that we are auditing. I'm sure, Puneet bhai, you'll have a lot of live things also which you can share, which we can do without using the Tally audit feature.
Yes, Ankit bhai, we have listed out few of the things that before we start the audit, what they should be doing. It you have rightly said that without using the tool, what are the working areas that we can think of. Okay, so the previous slide, Ankit bhai. Okay, friends, I will take up these 4 things before we actually take up this planning part. Whenever you come across a Tally data, what are the holistic view of the functioning that you have seen? We have seen the basic structure, that how the data folder looks like. Okay, now we will look at what is it once you start entering, or once you have entered into the data, what are the total control features do we have, or what are the functionalities that they have done. So first and foremost, I always suggest that the auditor should first go and check display list of accounts, DL. Ankit bhai rightly said DAL is display account books ledger. Now I have clicked on this DL, display list of accounts. What is this? This is your chart of accounts, how you have created, what is the structure of the current data that you are auditing. Okay, so here you can go and check that how many ledgers are there under loans and advances, how many ledgers are there under sundry debtors. If I shift enter, if I just click on shift enter, this will get you can see it in detailed mode, or you can see it in summarized mode. I'm again clicking on shift enter or shift enter. So you see that if you just want to see sundry debtors, then this is what it is. You can go and see. So this is how you have created the structure of the ledgers. On the right hand side, some of you would like to mute the video screen. On the right hand side, there are multiple screens options which are there. That is groups, cost category, cost center, ledgers. So if you click on any of these, suppose we click on the stock items. Here it will show what is the stock item chart that they have prepared. This is your chart of inventory, the total functioning available in this country, what type of inventory these guys have created. Okay, same way you can go to cost centers, stock groups, or budgets if they have created the budgets. Right now there are no budgets. For that we can have a separate session. But if you see at the cost center level, branch office, head office, they've created some names and those are there. What is cost center, cost category? We will come on that at a bit later maybe. But these are all the MIS part which is there. For us, auditing, what is important is the stock items, how many stock items are there, and the ledger view. Okay, this is the ledger view. Can we export this in Excel? Yes, we can export it as we normally do this particular aspect by saying this Excel spreadsheet and then putting the export location where you want to export it and then seeing this, giving the file name. What do we want to export? Do we want to export the employee names? Do we want to export the ledger names, or what do we want to export? We can select out here and then click on export. Okay, at this point of time I will just export it in Excel. Fine. So this is how you get the list of accounts in Excel. In case you want to, whenever you are starting the audit, what was the structure that you have seen, that you can note it down. Here, the important aspect, of course, during the audit, using the audit tool, also you have got this functionality, but here you can also see a button called Show Unused. So in this company, Poonam India LLP, these 5 ledgers have not been used. Many times the ledger gets carried forward because previous year में किसी ने खोला था, because of some reason किसी ने चालू किया था, and he is not available or they don't understand what the reason was, and they keep on creating the new ledgers. So here you will find the list of unused ledgers. You can click on spacebar and delete them also. Okay, but as of now we are not into restructuring of the data, but just to understand that if we can just see that there is a list of unused ledgers as well. So this was the first thing. The second thing important from, I'll come back to Gateway of Tally, is the understanding of DS, that is statements of accounts and statistics. I showed you the entire list. This is the summary, that how many groups are there, how many ledgers are there. So whenever you are starting the audit, please take the screenshot or export this in Excel while you have worked it. So here you will be able to control that how many ledgers were there when we started the audit. Okay, so this is how it is. You can also see the number of vouchers which are there. Okay, in each transactions, in each voucher, how many transactions are there. So while we will come to this screen again, once we move along a little bit more, this is a very important screen that you should understand, that it gives a holistic view. How many transactions are there? 1,123. How many employees are there? 22. Ledgers 268. So on and so forth. So while to understand that efficacy of data, or whether the data is complete or not, from one company to another company, when we are doing an export, import, or whatever it is, from audit perspective also, we should keep a note of this screen, that each type of transaction, how many transactions are there. We will come back to display daybook. Okay, now this daybook report shows us the list of all the transactions. whether it is a purchase order, sales order, journal, receipt. Normally, we go to display account books, ledger, as Ankit rightly said, we select a particular ledger, or we go to cash book, bank book. Here, the day book functionality is that it is having all the ledgers, all the transactional information. The idea behind showing you is this, that you can use the Alt F12, that is the range, to filter any information, whatever you may wish to extract from Tally. So voucher having ledger amount as greater than 10,000. Within a second, you find that all the vouchers on this particular date is there. So idea is that you can use this filtration tool very effectively while you are searching for any ledgers. You can create Alt F for one day you have searched. In the same way, 142.31.3, you can search in the entire transaction. Here you will see that they have created certain optional vouchers also. What is an optional voucher? It is a non-accounting voucher which has been posted for maybe some scenario or just for temporary purpose, but they have not impacted the books of accounts. So this also, whatever transactions are there, so this you will not be able to see when you are viewing your normal display account book ledger view report. You will view only from this display day book or from an exceptional report, which I will show later. There you will find the list of all the optional vouchers. These vouchers are posted in the books. I mean, they are passed in the books, but not posted to the books of accounts. That debit and credit impact has not been taken. So optional vouchers are those which are for which the impact is not already seen in the ledger accounts or in your trial balance, wherever you have not seen the impact. Okay. How to convert optional to regular? There is a button available in this, but for we will take up that at some other time. But this is a display daybook functionality. Okay, so this was the third thing after list of account statistics and daybook. Okay, now the other important part which you should know is using this Control F12 and Alt F12. What is it? I already mentioned about the Alt F12, that whenever you are looking at daybook or whenever you want to filter certain information, that you can get it. The other part that you should also know is the Control F12, which is there in the stock summary screen. Why is it important? I will be taking up the audit tool a little bit later, but here what I am saying is that the Control F12 functionality is for finding out the purchase voucher details or the sale detail. At some point of time, you would be asked in tax audit that what is the quantitative information of the total sales transaction or the purchase transaction. So how do you find that? Because F12, if you do this inward and outward as yes and closing balance, now this is total inward and outward. This would include your stock journal, your manufacturing journal, all the information. You want only total of vouchers which has been impacted through sales voucher. How do you find that? By using this Control F12 functionality. Using voucher type, name, containing or equal to sales. Here is it. So here you will find that this is the total quantitative information that you can provide it for your tax audit purposes. The outward details for your entire quantitative information, what has been sold during the year. Alt F1, we can get item wise as well. So that this is what it is. So using Control F12, we get the filtration part of a particular voucher type. There are many other options. I have just given you a brief option as well. Okay, escape. and coming back to gateway of Tally. Ankit bhai, anything you would like to add?
I think fair enough, Puneet bhai.
Okay. So using Alt F12 and Control F12 is this particular functionality. What is more important? One more thing which is important when we understand the structure of Tally is display statements of account statistics. I told you that it will come here once again. Suppose this is a purchase voucher. Okay, this is a list of purchase transactions in the month of March. In F12, there is a button called extract, yes. And if you want to see inventory wise extract, I'll first give you normal extract. This is a normal extract. Okay, in this month, what was the total vouchers which has been debited? What are the total ledgers which has been debited or credited? Same way, you can, I'll click on once again F12 and then come to inventory wise extract. So what item we have sold, purchased, and by clicking on Alt F2 by changing the period, we get it for the entire year. So this was extract. Apart from that, there is one important aspect also out here is to use this button called columnar. Most of us must be using it, but if you see that we can get party GST details, PAN number, registration number, receipt and dispatch details, item value, additional cost. Here, what is this? Type of column. All items automatic column. That means whichever ledgers have been debited or credited, all will show to you in respective columns. And the option, the second and third and fourth options are very rarely used. What is this? If you want to see items of a specific ledgers only, or suppose only purchase ledgers only, you don't want to see those which are there, although the purchase register might have used, but they have been used for expense also. You don't want to see that. So here you can select that only ledger belonging to purchase or group belonging to purchase accounts only. I want those ledgers only, and all other in one column. All other related column automatic or related column in related items in one column. This also you can see. But the best part is almost all of us should know that we should use this all items automatic columns. That is each individual line by line details we get. This is the purchase register. The same thing we wanted for sales. Then how do we get it? Is just by clicking on F4. All sales voucher. Now this is a shortcut key that you should know, not only for this columnar report, but in what Ankit bhai just mentioned, display account books ledger. So if you are viewing for one report for one entire year, then you can just click on F4 and select the other ledger itself also. So F4, by clicking on F4, now you're looking at all the sales register. Similarly, if you click on F4, journal register, journal. So all journals, you can see what debit, credit, narration, and all those things are there, and what ledgers have been used in this particular narration. Sorry, in the journal. There is one more columnar report before going to the actual audit tools that I would you all to learn. This display account books ledger. Suppose this is your bank report. Okay, for entire year. Here again you can click on Alt F8 and select all items automatic columns. This is another option that you might have it useful when we are doing it in bank or cash summary. Here we get the summarized information ledger wise, what was the details that were debited or credited. So that is useful, also useful in the columns of PAN number details when we are looking at a particular loan accounts or group of loan accounts. So those also we can have it, journal this thing, we can have it for this thing. So columnar report is available at the ledger level and at the voucher level. So these are the two options that you should know before we start using the Tally audit tool. Okay. So hope you have liked this particular feature of Alt F12, Control F12, statistics and daybook, and then view columnar report, extracting or this thing. Okay. So now we come to our audit tool. Ankit bhai, shall we move to the audit tool itself?
Yes. Let's move there.
Okay. So before we move to this audit tool, there was one question that in audit documentation, how do you create a new plan? How do you create a new areas of audit? So here we had created. Here you can click on new. So on and so forth. Okay. So you can create your own audit areas as well. I will accept it. Okay. So are we ready for understanding this audit analysis? Can we have a small update till now? What is the features? Mukesh has said, can optional vouchers be used for preparing cash flow forecast? Yes, they can be. We can take it up maybe tomorrow for MIS purposes. Audit working papers in this I will be taking at Kamlesh. Your question regarding maintaining audit papers while doing a ledger scrutiny, entry-wise scrutiny. Yes, we are going to do this precisely from now on. We are going to jump right on the audit tool, audit and analysis. So Ankit bhai, when you start the audit, what is the first thing that you do? Of course, after planning and documentation has done, what is the first thing that you do?
Obviously, we'll verify the chart of accounts.
Okay, right. So verification of chart of accounts, for that we need a base. Okay, so how do we need the base? We have to look at the previous year company. Now, previous year company can have two functionalities. Either it could be continued in the same data, what 10,014 or what that data that we have selected, or it could be a different company if they have split the data. I strongly recommend users to split the data every year, because there might be an accountant who might go and change after the audit is done, or change the masters and everything, and then the entire financial reports which have been generated goes for a toss. So it is highly recommended that we split the data. So here we are taking a scenario where the data split has happened, and this particular company is for the current year, and now we have to look at the previous year. So how do we do that? Here we select the company by clicking on button called Control F3 or this thing. In the same folder, if I have put it, then fine. Or else I can go and select a different folder as well. Fortunately, for the current one, I have kept it in the same folder. That is for the Poonam India previous year company. I'll give username and password. Okay. Now, there are two companies which are loaded. Poonam India LLP current year and previous year company Poonam India previous year. Okay. So we will start using this audit tool. There are friends, before we start using this audit tool, please be, let me introduce this entire dashboard to you. The first part, that is the first half on the top, is the first few parts of are related to verification of chart of accounts, stock item and ledger balances. Then few analytical procedures. We will see each of them one by one. Statutory payments and receipts which has been configured in Tally as TDS, GST, or all those repeated periodic payments receipts and relative. So there are some inbuilt intelligence involved in this audit tool. We will learn each of them step by step. So how to use this, and finally the other analysis. So these are the top part is related to the analytical portion. The bottom part, the second half, rather not the bottom, the second half part is related to the verification of vouchers. That includes your related party transactions. Total, as we saw in the statistics, there are 1,123 vouchers. How many of them have sampled? How many of them have audited till now? Or as we move along, we will see if there are observations to it and whether those observations have been pending or clarified, and the external observation. Okay, so those all options also we have seen, and if any of the vouchers which we have audited have been altered, those will be there on the right hand side, second half column. If they have altered the transaction, here we will get the information that these have been altered. Right. As Ankit Bhai said, that the first thing that we look at is the chart of accounts, or rather many times the opening balances. We will go to the chart of accounts first. Here we see that accounts squared out during the year. Now all these are self-explanatory from auditor's perspective. Not much can be. I mean, of course, Ankit Bhai, if you want to look at it, you can definitely have some comments over it. But otherwise, they are self-explanatory. What I wish to inform that we can view it by clicking on of F12. We can just say that I want first to look at non-revenue and then at revenue. So non-revenue and revenue, those in Tally terminology, revenue which are related to your profit and loss accounts, and non-revenue are those which are related to your balance sheet impact, having a balance sheet impact directly. So I will first look at non-revenue. So primary group, so verification notes and all these things. Yes. So accounts squared off during the year. Once I do a shift enter, I get this thing. So which accounts have been squared off during the year? Okay. Why I wish to look at primary group also is that suppose some loan accounts have been routed through a debtor or a creditor. You will not know while you are doing your ledger scrutiny. Here you will come to know that which loan accounts or which debtor status account have been squared off during the year. Okay. Some of you would be seeing that how to put this verification status. It is easy. Just click on spacebar and then click on Alt F9. Any single line below a particular button that is on the right hand side, whatever key that you see, single line means Alt and double line means Control in Tally's perspective. So here we will see that there is a single line below F9. So, or you can click by mouse also, Alt F9, verified. Here, because we have activated our working papers, this detail will automatically get copied to your audit working papers, which at later point of time you can see. We will see how that reports are reviewed. So same way you can verify one individual ledger, or you can verify multiple ledgers together. I am clicking on spacebar, 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 space. And if I am okay with all of them, then I will say Alt F9 once again. accounts available, accounts squared up during the year. So same way, there are 5 or 6 scenarios which Tally has already inbuilt given you, not available in the current year. That means it was there in the previous year, not used during the year. Only balances shift enter, only balance last year and used in current year. Okay, why it is there? Only balances and no transaction. Okay, then there is a balance, but there is no transaction. Regrouped, that is 5 ledgers have been regrouped. Earlier year, the nomenclature was there, the same ledger was there, but it was there in the different group. That is a ledger might have, suppose a bank account was there, it was there in a CC account. Now this year we have created another, maybe the bank accounts group only. So that we will get it. Okay, or used only in current year. These were not there in the previous year, but used in current year, that is new ledger. And if you see, there is a date also available on the right hand column, that when those ledgers were created by the users. Okay. Used only in current year. Okay. With this verification, after looking at the verification part, we go to the verification of stock item, rather we go to this verification of balances, that let me verify the balances. Ankit bhai,
Yes, Puneet bhai.
how much time does the user takes while doing a opening balance verification?
So
Manually.
typically, it will depend on obviously the size of the organization. But if we talk about a medium-sized organization, it will take them about 1.5 to 2 hours,
Okay.
is what we've observed.
Right. So what we have typically seen in this particular report, that merely by loading the company, previous year company, we have found that what are the differences. Friends, whatever you see in the red, that these are the balances where there is a difference. Now the comparison has happened on its own. How it has happened? Because we have created, or we have, load 2 companies. First was the current year company, and then before we started our audit analysis, we also loaded the previous year company. Here, the tally on its own gives Alt F1 that where there is a difference. Okay, if you see that previous year Maruti Bankers were there, and the same balance is there, although in the same group, for with a different name, that is Muthoot Finance. Tally gives this report instantaneously. So what the users are spending 2 hours or maybe 2 days, depending on the number of ledgers that they have to verify, Tally has done on its own and given you the difference. Where there is absolutely no difference, you will find that this is there. Okay, here you will see that there was a company called City Auto Finance in the previous year. The closing in the current year, the opening balance was 490. The previous year was 333. Here you can ask the auditor or auditee that please inform. So here you can just say spacebar verify.
So to all
Go
the
ahead.
articles and staff who would be auditing, who will be starting their audits in about some time, I
Yes.
would just tell them, though the principles will kill me, but they can still go about doing this feature which you showed Puneet bhai in about 5 minutes, and then for the next hour, hour and a half, they can enjoy themselves.
Very true. using technology to have peace of mind is the mantra at Chambers. Also, I've seen a lot of programs Chambers are organizing on a regular basis, that how technology can be useful to save the time for the members and for their team. And yeah, having fun during the audit is a prime requirement for articles, as well as for having a better efficiency from a principal's perspective. So,
Absolutely, Puneet bhai. We not only save time here, but the feature that you showed initially about verification of accounts, which can again similar feature, which is verification of stock items. These are all qualitative aspects that we add to our audit. So apart from the vouching that we do, which again is necessary and of utmost important, but these are some quality steps which once added to our audit can actually make more life easier, and we are in more control of as an auditor. That is what I would just add to it.
exactly, exactly. Uh, so here, if you see, they are comparing the balances, closing balance and opening balance. And some of you might want to go and actually verify. Okay. So what you can do is that you can just press Control Enter. Okay. Here you see, this is the opening balance that they have kept it. And if you want to see the ledger, okay, what is the debit credit transaction which has happened, then you can press on Control Enter, Alt Enter. Show ledger. So on the right hand side, there is a button called Show Ledger. There you can see Show Ledger. Okay, F8. So if you wish to see that HDFC account where it is filtered, okay, Show Ledger, you can see the entire transaction. Now, one more important shortcut I am sharing it with you. User said that this is the entire ledger for the Poonam India Limited books of accounts for HDFC. Now you want to see the same ledger in the previous year. Okay, the name is same, and in the previous year for 10-11, without moving anywhere, you want to see. How to see? Here you just have to click. Earlier I had clicked on F4 for selecting different voucher types. Okay, but here I am going to click on F3 and select the previous year company, and then change the period, Alt F2 or F2 period 1410. So the shortcut is clicking on F3 company. While we are looking at a particular ledger, if you want to see it for the same ledger in a different company, if you have loaded that company, you can just click on F3. Okay, we will come to our current year company. Right. So this was the ledger view, and so on and so forth. Here, the F12 functionality, what we discussed, that only revenue or non-revenue, those are there along with the ledger's name and the group name. What I really like is this balanced variance. If you want to analyze on a click of button that the closing balance in the previous year and the closing balance in the current year. Now we have compared two balances, that is done. Okay, opening balance of the current year and closing balance of the previous year. Now we are comparing that to last year kitna tha, is saal kitna tha. Each of the individual ledger wise balances. So here you will come to know that what is the difference at each level. Very useful when we are looking at F12, show revenue accounts only. Here in F12, you can also see at amount wise, if you want to see the variance or you want to look at the percentage. I love seeing it percentage. And if you want to see only above, suppose you find that 10% is fine with me, greater than 10.
Puneet, a lot of participants have requested to again show the comparison of the previous year closing balance and the current year opening balance to verify that.
Okay.
If you can show the same.
Okay. Okay. I will come on that once again. This is gateway of Tally. First, I will start my current year company. Username, password. Fine. This is the current year company for which I want to do the audit. I will go to the audit and compliance menu. I will go to the audit and analysis menu. Before I start anything, I will click on Control F3. That is compare company. Now, if the company is of same folder within the same distinct date range, then you need not do that because the balances are automatically carried forward. But here we are talking about a scenario where there is a split of data which has happened. So we will select Control F3, comparing the company, and select the previous year company. Give the username, password. Fine. Then we come to this menu, that is verification of balances. Automatically Tally has given this comparison. I have not run any other procedure. This is the verification functionality which is already provided in the system. By just loading the previous year company, informing Tally that this is my previous year company, and you go to this report is ready. Alt F1 I did, and here once I see that yes, there is a difference, why these TDS ledgers have not been entered, maybe some other grouping structures they have entered it. If I'm okay, I can select okay, page bar. So it was a previous year company. Audit is done for the current year. So I can see what ledgers I have done for. One second. I'm okay with this. I can put the verification remark. That's it. Is it clear, Ankit bhai?
Absolutely, Puneet bhai. Absolutely clear.
Even if there is a difference, and if you have said verified, it is given the normal color then. Okay.
Perfect, Puneet bhai.
Right. Fine. In chart of accounts, I did not share one functionality. Is this revenue ledgers having opening balances, which normally should not, but it is there. So here you should go and check why they have created this particular blunder. Okay. Closing balance in the current year. This is chart of accounts verification. I think rest other matters we have already seen it earlier. Right. Similar to the chart of accounts, we can balances. We can also compare the stock items. Okay. Difference in opening stock. That means if you see that the verification of balances what we see is the same way in which we can see. This is the closing balance of the previous year on the right hand side and the opening balance. So Tally has given by default that this mistake that you have done, the previous year closing balance of stock items is the different than the current year opening balances. So what we saw for the ledgers, the similar way is available for stock items as well. Right. Ankit bhai, before we move forward, I think it is 12:45 somewhere. Shall we take up some Q&A or we can go to the analytical procedures? What do you suggest? Ankit bhai?
Ankit bhai, you are on mute. Ankit bhai, you are on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, Puneet, I think we can start taking Q&A. It will be apt. And then if at all we still have time remaining, we can move further or we can take the things tomorrow.
Okay. So, what if we forget security details is what Manasa has asked, that if security, having your own security functionality is important. If you forget it, nobody can recover that. Of course, there are few vendors. If we share some that company .900 files, they can recover, but they also will reset the username password. So I would recommend that whenever you create your own security control, it is better that you note it down somewhere where you can put it. What if there are multiple ledgers pertaining to same entity?
Puneet bhai, Vijay bhai has something to share.
Continuing in that same question, is Tally authority itself, is it having any such tool with it to help us out to recover the data if we forget our security code or we do not have such backup plan?
Normally, whenever we have interacted with Tally company, they do not, although they must be having it somewhere down the line, but they do not encourage or they do not give this user ID and password because of their policy. We cannot get it from there. But what I do understand is there are a few people in the market. Once you share them that company.900 file, okay, they will be able to reset the password or the username. That is what they do. They are able to open the company in a certain environment and then they are able to get it. But normally Tally company do not allow, if you go to Tally Solutions themselves, they will not say, they will say directly that we will not be able to help you out. They do not encourage that kind of questions.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Another question that we have is, what if there are multiple ledgers pertaining to same entity? Will all of those be included in the verification of charts that we did?
So by meaning pertaining to same entity is that you have created a group of accounts, and under that, suppose Reliance Industries is one group, and you have been dealing with Reliance Jamnagar, Reliance Delhi, Reliance Bombay, those ledgers you have created. Is this the question that if I have understood correctly, Ankit?
I'm not sure, Puneet bhai, but if I read it correctly, it would be pertaining to, there are a lot of times when whenever we are creating ledgers, say for example, if the company's name is Excited Visualizers Private Limited, you have an Excited Visualizers PVT.LTD. Then you have Excited Visualizers Private Limited, something of that sort, where for no reason there are multiple ledgers that are started getting created.
Okay. So I will answer both of them. If these are the two scenarios which are there. First scenario which I told, yes, all the ledgers under the same group will be shown as of group wise details would be shown. Okay. The second question that you probably answer to your assumption is that in Tally, in the report that we saw, the option of sorting is available. So in case you have created ledgers with a similar nomenclature, So those can be sort according to the name and then probably view. Yes, it would be available in the same report. That is whatever ledgers you have created. So if you might have gone and checked, compared it with the statistics ledgers 269 or whatever that ledgers would be, those would be there in this chart of accounts. So none of the ledgers which are created will not be there. ऐसा नहीं होगा. All the ledgers would be there in that chart of accounts, in the both balances and details also.
Perfect. So next question that we have is, how can we compare if tally is not splitted between 2 years? The example that we took was where the data was splitted.
So here we need not compare only because tally itself is carrying forward. Alt F2 करके आपने period change कर दिया है, आपने speed split नहीं किया है, fine, it is okay. So the balances will be absolutely same. You will not compare it only. Okay.
Only thing here I will add is to the question that has been raised, that what we'll have to do there is, if someone has been mischievous enough to add in some entry in the previous year or change the opening balance of the previous year's chart of accounts, then one will have to actually go about actually physically comparing the data with the balance sheet that one has signed last year. I think that can be the only solution if that is the case.
In fact, what you say is correct, Ankit bhai. Based upon our experience at our client's place, generally what happens, and especially when the new staff is coming in, as per his experience, he will simply change the group. So this is what we have noticed. So what generally we do in certain cases, that year to year we have physical verification of opening balances of the current year printout with the last year printout, which are appearing, and especially in those cases where the data are not splitted between the years.
What I would say, Vijay bhai, is we should encourage splitting the data, because if we go ahead and split the data, then the report that tally generates, which we saw right now, where even if the grouping is changed, it will flag those things as well.
Correct.
It can be really helpful for us.
That's right. Both the systems have their plus and minus points.
I agree.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Let's go ahead.
Neil has asked, what if a ledger in advances in a previous year, under advances it was there, but currently it has been taken in the sundry debtors in the current year? Will tally still detect it by name, or will it show mismatch in opening balance verification? Yes, it will still detect it by name, and yes, it will show in mismatch as well, because there is a change in groupings. So if you see the chart of accounts, it clearly showed the report that which ledger the balances or which ledger the grouping has got changed. So it will show that, and tally will flag it as a red flag also. Although the name is same, earlier it was under advances, now it is under sundry debtors. Although the name is same, it will show it as a red flag, and you will have to click spacebar and say verified OK.
Puneet bhai, there is Sanil who has raised his hand. I would just allow him to speak.
Yeah, please.
Sanil, if you can unmute yourself and speak. Sanil Sampat. Ajay Dodia, if you want to ask any question, you can unmute yourself and ask.
I think we can proceed.
I think we can start taking the questions which are there here. Puneet bhai, Bharat bhai, Maheshwari has requested if you can share this tally data with him so that he can practice once before actually going through live data.
Sure. I would share it with Charmi and yourself, so we can then send it to the participants.
Then we'll do that, sir. Okay. Another question we have is, can we export to Excel this comparison of balance as it is?
Yeah, very much. So now, earlier 7.2 version, and before that, there was a lot of challenges when the Excel export was not very so easy to use. But now, if you see, you are able to export the entire report. What we see, because this is the report, and here we say export as yes. That's it. Nothing else.
Done, Puneet bhai. One more question what we have is again pertaining. So there are two questions pertaining to TDS. I want to do TDS analysis. Any tool in Tally? Example, below limit means no TDS, limit cross means TDS applicable on particular section like that.
TDS analysis, we will have to use, so Tally has got wonderful TDS functionality. A lot of users are using it, but if you have not activated Tally TDS, then what you will be able to, then what you should be doing is using the general scrutiny measures that we would be discussing as we move along. So that you have to use it. But when we say that if you have used it, the Tally TDS, then you get all these reports where the limits have crossed or where the zero deduction was made, or a lot of questions which are related to TDS. But and also the TDS returns can also be generated from the system.
Done, sir. I think one more what we have is how to extract general ledgers in Excel. If you can, I think you already showed that.
Yeah. The display list of accounts, the entire general list of ledgers was there, which was there in Excel, which we can export it.
Last and important question that I have is if audit plan is stored in Tally, what if the client alters it?
You can restrict that. You'll have to take the security measures and ensure that, of course, the super user can do all the alteration what he wants. And along with this, the secondary functionality that we must do is that we can, once we complete a particular important milestone in audit, we should take up the backups of the Tally data. So that is where we will not be able to change in the backups that you might keep it at somewhere place. But if the super user wants to do, he can go and change the audit plan also. So that is the risk that we all carry with us, what Tally data is there. So that is there.
One more question. Any GST 2A Reco done by Tally? Because I've seen this feature of reconciliation in QuickBooks and other softwares.
Yes, Ankit, Tally has got this GSTR 2A reconciliation functionality. I don't know how we can see that functionality or not, because we have already a lot of things on our table. But at some other time, we can use Tally's 2A functionality. And over a period of time, our team has also been working on a tool which we can do it in Excel as well. So just in case we have time, or maybe at some other point of time, we can do it tomorrow or later on, that GSTR2 reconciliation, because yes, I see this is a perennial problem with all of us to reconcile our what is there on the GST portal and what is there in the books of accounts, which mostly is Tally. So we do have a solution for that. Tally has a solution which is inbuilt in the system, and an Excel tool is also there. Both the options are there.
Charmi, one question is for us. Is there any email ID where queries can be sent in advance so that it can be cleared tomorrow?
Ankit bhai, I was... Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Charmi.
So I was thinking, let them put it tomorrow morning only on the on chat box instead of emailing it to us.
I think that's a better option, because it will be difficult if there are too many emails being sent and to collate the data. So what I can request all the participants is, if you can note down your queries, and probably morning once you join in, you can put in the queries in the chat box, and if time pertaining, we'll try to answer most of them at least. One question that we have is, in Tally, can we prepare audit strategy? A very general question. I don't know how to answer that.
No, we'll come on that. No, audit strategy definitely we'll have to design. When we stopped at opening, we stopped at comparison of opening balances only. So for audit strategy, there are two important things that we have already discussed. One is the general list of accounts and statistics and all those things. And other important thing is that planning. We have already listed out that what plan we are going to do. But apart from planning, now the strategic thing is that what are we going to audit? Which vouchers are we going to audit? How do we find that? So tomorrow, the first thing that we are going to discuss most likely is this audit analysis tool. That how multiple ways in which we can get this comparison done from the previous year, current year, as well as the ratios between purchase and sales and expenses and incomes and all those things. So tomorrow we will have a lot of exciting program in terms of Tally only probably. Along with the sampling, there are a few sampling tools also available within the system, so that we are going to learn.
Can we track changes in vouchers?
Yes, of course, we can track the changes which are already audited. Audit vouchers, if they have already audited, they would be reflected in the dashboard that we discussed on the right hand side bottom part. The other aspect of audit is what Tally is already having. If you recall that in Alt F3 screen, what we did was we did not activated a feature called Tally Audit. So we can also activate that feature of Tally Audit, and we can track the basics of whether the voucher has been altered after the audit has been done within the system or not. So those all things are there. But to tell you frankly, the entire trail is not there in the system. Tally keeps track of only the last user and the last amount. So it will not show if there are 4 changes which has happened. It will not show all the 4 steps of the trail, but it will definitely show who was the last altered person who had created the voucher. The first and the last it can show. We can have a look at that feature as well tomorrow.
Punita, if I am right, we have an add-on which can do that functionality which you're mentioning, which is not there in standard, right?
Yes. So the entire idea of taking this session in terms of enablement was this. While it is not there in default version of the Tally shop offers a lot of small
Customization.
add-ins, and one amongst them is this that audit trail can be mentioned, and in that you can also mention the remarks that why this change has happened. Suppose there is a change in masters, there is a change in transaction, so those also can be taken up. So maybe we will not be able to go to the Tally shop, but definitely we can show you. I have downloaded that customization there in my machine. We can show you a brief of how the trail can be maintained. So that can be done.
Can we use audit and compliance feature without enabling the security option? I guess no, right? No, we cannot.
No. That is a prerequisite. That is because of that only. That was the first thing that I took up.
Can we prepare cash flow statement in Tally using the indirect method?
Default Tally has got a report which says that your cash flow, how it is, and what are the movements of actual bank and the funds. Both of them are there. So cash flow report is there. I'm not sure whether it is tallying with the current audit and accounting standards requirement, but definitely one should go there and check whether that suffices their purpose or not.
Can accounting and auditing standards be automatically checked by Tally? Slowly and gradually, I think they will ask us whether the entire audit can be done in Tally or not, without us doing anything.
What I can share is that, while there is some amount of intelligence inbuilt in the tool, definitely none of the softwares can check all the scenarios and all the practical implications, accounting and auditing standards. We are not far away, friends, while a lot of AI and robotics would get involved in the system. But till that point of time, what Tally has is a generic option of whether the particular accounting standard has been followed or not. Now, within those standards, whether all the rules of, suppose we talk of accounting standards related to inventory, whether all the items have been valued at FIFO or weighted average, that is the question. Then would the system give us the report? Yes, some amount of basic report can give, but whether that would be applicable to your industry in which you are working, that the auditor himself has to analyze and give remarks on. So definitely we are on track of getting that kind of reports also, but currently no. It will not check all the internal conditions of the accounting standards within those. But generically, yes, we can create an audit plan and say whether this accounting standard is applicable to them and who has checked it. So that can be done. I did not take up that particular aspect of the audit plan. Maybe tomorrow first thing we can take it up.
Can we analyze the credit period or outstanding period report using an audit tool instead of ledger scrutiny?
Can we analyze credit period? There is a report which is there. So other than ledger scrutiny, yes, there is a report that how an outstanding is there. How the receivables are paying or how we are paying to the creditors, how many days we are taking it up. So that report is there. We can look at that report. Ankit, please mark that report. We can show it tomorrow. It's one of the beautiful reports that Tally has.
Sure.
It will give a day-wise analysis, say outstanding for more than 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and so on.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. That is there. That lot of users are using that as well. 30, 90, bill-wise or date-wise, that analysis is already there.
Right.
So, yeah.
How can we detect frauds encountered in entity through auditing via Tally?
Firstly, you'll have to go to a course and learn what are the aspects of fraud detection, and then come back to Tally and understand that we discussed on certain important audit tools in the opening balance or chart of accounts. So why a particular ledger was squared off during the year, why it was not used during the year. When you answer those questions, probably at that point of time, you can come to your fraud detection. At the same time, in the same breath, I will take that tomorrow we are going to compare certain reports of previous year and current year. So from there also you can verify that what are the abnormalities there in the data. And there is one beautiful report of ratio analysis, which we can get it maybe monthly or quarterly. So there also certain abnormalities can be found out, but definitely users will have to use their own judgment to say whether this is a fraud or it is just a normal abnormal scenario.
Last question of the day, Puneet bhai.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on stock valuation in Tally? Which option we have to select in Tally Master in order to be in compliance with accounting standards? I presume Tally takes valuation on average cost basis.
No, Pankti has asked this question. So Pankti, Tally does not have only an average cost basis. Tally has got FIFO, LIFO, and weighted FIFO, LIFO, and average cost method also.
I think we lost Puneet.
Yeah, I think we lost Puneet bhai. So just to add to Puneet bhai's answer, I think there are some network issues he might be facing. So Pankti, we do have, I mean, if you go into Tally and you select in Masters the proper options, then you can always try to be in compliance with the accounting standards as well. Puneet bhai, you are on mute. You'll have to unmute yourself first.
For some industry, it is there on the standard cost as well. So we can take it up tomorrow when we are looking at stock items verification, that how these masters are, so that we can take it up.
Surely. I think we'll end the session on that note, and we'll be continuing tomorrow.